Hello and welcome. I'm doing this podcast, a space where I'm having vulnerable and honest conversation about meaningful moments that have shaped my guests' lives. Today, I'm going to talk to Javi about our experience with the 10-day Vipassana silent meditation retreat. We're going to first talk a little bit about what is the setup of this retreat, and then we're going to talk through what was each day like. And in the end, we're going to tell you about what we took away from the course because it was pretty life changing. And we get many questions about what it was like to not be able to talk to anybody for 10 days and what it was like to meditate 100 hours in 10 days. And we decided to make an episode and share it with all of you because we think it's a wonderful experience. We would recommend everybody to try at least once in a lifetime and decide for themselves if they think it's beneficial for their life or not. I just want to make you aware that in the first few episodes, you might hear it, Javi's dog's barking, but then we let him out on terrace and the sound got crispy and clear. If you enjoy this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it at least with one person that might enjoy it as well, because that's how we spread the good stuff around. You can also watch this episode on YouTube at the channel I'm Doing This. And let's just get to it. Javi, thank you for being here. And I thought before we jump into it, I was wondering, what did meditation mean to you before you come to the Vipassana retreat?
To be honest, it was the first time I did meditation in my life. I mean, I tried to do many times, like before I went to this place, but it didn't work. Like I was like 10 minutes with my eyes closed and thinking about life, and I think that was meditation to me. And listen some the sea music, or I don't know, listen to bells, ringing bells, or I don't know, that kind of things to me was meditation, like mindfulness, or the things that we usually know as meditation. And I was, to be honest, I was a bit scared to be like 10 days in a place with no phone, with no chatting, with no talking at all. I was like, okay, this is it's gonna be hard. But yeah, I was scared. I have to be honest. It was kind of a challenge to myself because I wasn't very doing meditation in my life. So it was like, okay, if I do this, I will start meditation. And I think it was a great beginner, and it was like a great way to start. It was kind of I don't know. I think it was a bit exigent, but we will talk about experience. But yeah.
That's a good point because we're gonna get into the retreat and the rules of retreat, which are pretty strict and make the whole experience more challenging for me. That word also came up, or grueling. That would be the word I used for the 10 days. But before that, let's talk a little bit about Vipassana meditation, because for me, before I went to the retreat, for me, meditation was some of the things that you mentioned. It was about mindfulness. It was about calming down the mind, about being more focused, about feeling better. But that's not really Vipassana, right? So how would you explain in your words what this technique is about? What is the goal? How it works?
So if I had to explain to someone how to Vipassana meditation, I could say it's about feeling. It's not about what you're thinking. It's more about feelings and how you feel your body, how you feel like the pain in your body, because you have to stay like 1 hour sit in the same position and you cannot move. And after a while you start like feeling pain everywhere. And it's about that. It's like about just watching what's happening in your body, feeling what sensation appears. And it's kind of hard at the beginning because your mind is flying away. It's thinking about many things, and like it's impossible. You say, I cannot be like doing this for an hour, and then after days, you just can do it. I mean, you start like being able to stay like 1 hour sitting and doing nothing because you're just watching your body. You're just feeling what's happening in you. Like that's very, 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 very strange, I have to say. Like you start feeling like very subtle, like sensation, like vibration. And it's if I explain to someone this, say, Javier, you're crazy. You have to like go to see a doctor if you're feeling that. And Right? It's hard to explain. Like, if I have to be honest, it's hard, but it's about that it's you can understand your mind. I think you can like get in your mind and feel your body like yeah, it's kind of that, I think.
Yeah, the sensation, right? It's about the sensation and how you feeling and what you said, like the subtle sensation. But when we started Vipassana and we're gonna talk about it, I was focusing on some parts of my body, and I was like, I don't feel anything. I was like, there's nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
How
right.
does this work?
And
And
and um how what do I have to feel? Like, that's the question you start like asking to yourself, like, what do I have to
yeah,
feel? Because it's like, okay, you have to focus in like a small part of your body, and what I'm not going to feel nothing in that part. Like, I never feel nothing in that part, and then like that's a bit weird when you start like hearing what you want to do or what you have to do, and it's like, wow, it's challenging.
yes, exactly. Yeah, to me it was surprising when I could start feeling things. I was like, oh, really? This works. This interesting. Um, yeah, I think that to summarize it, the Vipassana meditation really is about observing, right? They call it purifying your mind because they say all cravings and things that you experience come as sensation, and then if you just observe it, it will get easier to deal with it. Which is, I think makes some sense because, for example, like I don't know, my nose used to be itchy, and that would ruin half of my day because like I could not focus on anything else. And now you just observe it. You just don't do anything. You don't react to it basically, and that's basically the main point of that meditation is anicca, right? Everything pass.
Yeah.
All the sensation that you have will pass one day, or 1 hour, or 1 minute, or 1 second. Whether they are good or bad, and whenever they feel good or feel bad, they will pass, right? And it's that feeling of impermanence. I think that's really what stuck with me. Um, um, okay, but before we get to the experience itself, tell us. You already mentioned some of the rules. So how does these 10 days do? How does it work?
Okay, so okay, yeah, that's the scary part when you start. Like, you get to the place, and then they ask you to get your phone. Like, they want your, like, they are keeping your phone in a bag. They give you a number. I was like 15, I think the number 15. So they I they took my phone, and they say, okay, you're the number 15, and then they put the phone in a bag, and it was it. Like, no more phone for 10 days, and also my wallet, also the keys from my house. And I was like, okay, this is happening. It's like shocking at that time. And they say, okay, I'm gonna show you your room. And that was the 0 day, the day before we start. So they show us the room. It was like a big corridor with many boxes. Like, you have like I don't know how was it, like 2 meters, 2 square meters. You have a bag. You have your bed. You have like a light for yourself, and that's it. That's just your place, and you have like a curtain, no doors, and it was quite good. I have to say. Like, I was expecting something more like primitive or something more like
Yeah,
hostel way, like, like bed to
hippie.
bed and everything in this. Yeah, everything in the same room, like. But no, it was like your private box. And it was perfect because you can like stay with yourself, and because one of the rules is not talking at all with others. Others, like, the guys who are meditating, you cannot talk at all. Like, even like even not like ace contact, like nothing at all. And it's pretty hard to do it like for 10 days. And to me, I don't know how you feel that, but to me, it was one of the hardest thing to do is not to connect with people, because we were like around all the time. Like, we were like together all the time. Like, we were 28 guys, I think 28. We were 28,
Yeah, something like that.
and we felt the connection because we were like in the same vibration. Like, it's people that you really want to meet. People you want to connect, because you feel like it's deep people. It's not like the people you met in the supermarket. It's people that they want to have the same experience that you're looking for, and uh, to have that the kind of people around you. You want to talk with them because I don't know, it's part of the experience. And I don't know, it's kind of hard at the
Yeah,
beginning. After that, you get used to, and okay, it's how it's working. You cannot talk, and yeah, but the first day is shocking because you have no phone, you have no your things. It's whatever it is, and you have to like trust in the people who are doing this, and you have to yeah to let it be like yeah kind of that. No,
Yeah.
that's the first day to me. It's more like giving trust.
Yes. Yes, definitely. And I basically no verbal, no any type of communication, right, with anybody else. And despite that, there is some connection, and I think we will get to that later. But I felt it too. And above that, also, you couldn't read anything, right? You couldn't write. Basically, it was you meditate, you ate, and then you had few like hours, not even few hours, like some time to do the hygiene, maybe go for a short walk, uh, and rest before you did another meditation, right? Which is crazy. Also, like no sex. And the one thing that we didn't mention, we were also separated to men and guys, right? So the whole retreat center was basically split in half, and only point we would see the women, we would still be kind of separated by an imaginary wall, was in the meditation hall, right? That was the only point when you saw any woman, anybody you would. There was a manager that you could talk to. That was the only person that you could talk to if you had any problem. And then sometimes you could talk to the teacher like twice a day. You could ask a question, but at no point there was basically any contacts. It was very. This was also separated, um, and I think that's about. And basically, and I think the other thing that we didn't discuss that is important to say, because when you say sometimes, like I heard it, when we were talking to some people, they were like, "Oh, is this some sect or something?" And I think the what make me kind of assured that it's gonna be okay is that the whole retreat is free. It's
Yeah, it's free.
all paid from donation, right? And the people who work there, the manager, all the people who provide the food for us for the days, they are all volunteers, and they are only volunteers and donators who have done the course before. If you haven't finished the 10-day course, you can donate, you can volunteer. There actually was a guy with us, I don't know if you remember him. He did like 7 or 8 days, and then he had to stop because he had a huge pain in his back, some health issues. Um, and he wanted to donate some money, and they didn't let him. They said like, no, you have to first need to
Yeah,
finish the course. And it's crazy that they built all the center and that people really are there. But you kind of get why when you finish it, right? Um, and okay, so I think that kind of describes the whole situation. Maybe just to add, the food was provided. It was like basic vegetarian food. It was actually really nice. I think I don't know what you thought about the food. Um,
yeah. What that's interesting too. Like the first day you get to the place, they told you like you go to the I don't know the place we eat, how you call it, like it was like a dinner room. So you have like this like a McDonald's, how you call it, like the things that
buffet.
we have with the yeah, like we have like this kind of buffet, and we were like having our dishes, like you have a plate, a glass, you have like your cutlery, and that's yours. You have to write your name in in the table, and that's your place. It's gonna be your place that you're eating for the 10 days in the same place with the same people, and you have no one in front of you. Like it's the table is for 4 people, but no one it's in front of you. They are like in diagonal that you cannot see. Like it's crazy. Like and you having your cutlery, you have to wash it and you put it back in the place and use the same the three food that we had in the same place. Like no eating, no chatting, not at all. Like you take your cutlery, you go to take the food, you get the food, you go back to your place, you eat. That's it. The 10 days, 3 times a day. That's what you do. Like, and I was like really expecting about food because I don't know, it was something different to do. Eating, like something like in the day to day, it's eating because you need to eat. You eat because you need to eat. But in that time, it was like, okay, I want to eat to do something different. I want to have another experience. I don't want to meditate anymore. Eating was like the best part of the retirement. So, like it was like a break for your mind because you have to think, you have to be with you. You're with the food, and yeah, it was kind of crazy the connection that you have with the food also because your senses are like really really high. Like you're feeling everything. You're feeling the food. The taste is completely different than the food you have in the rest of your life. I mean, it's the same. It's the same apple. You know, you're eating an apple, but it tastes different. It tastes like, I don't know, colorful. Like, I don't know. It's crazy to explain. It's all about sensation. How you display sensation. So yeah, that food and eating, it was like a complete experience also.
Yeah, I think the you know what you talk about is also part is that what basically all these rules that we talked about, why they are there is they are there for you, right? To put you in kind of, they said, I think, mental silence, because there is no distraction. You can't read, you can't write, you can't talk to anybody, you can't hop on electronic devices. There's no way to distract yourself. You pretty much have to be in the moment. You can maybe think about other things, but you can only think about so much things before you kind of like
Yeah,
run
and
out.
the thing, I also had the experience of how is 1 hour. You know, how long is 1 hour? Like the time become like, I don't know. Sometimes 1 hour it was like short time, and sometimes 1 hour was like a very long time. Like you have no perspective about time. Like it's crazy. Like 1 hour could be an eternity, or 1 hour could be like really short time. It depends what you're doing. Like that's was really crazy. And I was with no watch. You cannot have like so. It's kind of crazy, the perspective of time also. Like it's, I know the retirement is more like meditation and vipassana, but you also had the experience of many things. Like yeah, like being with yourself, being like with you, like with your thoughts, with, I don't know, the food and the experience of time. Like Vipassana is not just about meditation. If I have to, if someone asks me what's Vipassana, it's not just meditation. I mean, it's a lot of things in 10 days. Like, yeah, I was looking for that. I mean, I was looking for meditation and to start doing meditation, but also I really was wondering what's been with me 10 days, what we in silence. But yeah, and that was like shocking also, and really good, really good.
Yeah, yeah, it's very intense experience on many different levels. And one thing is, I used to count a lot of things through the retreat, like seconds and a minute left to meditation, and we will get to that. And one of the thing I was thinking about is like, oh, it's 100 hours of meditation. If I would go to the gym 3 times a week, 1.5 hour every day, it would be about like 5.5 months of going to the gym. How much progress you're gonna see if you stick with gym for 5.5 months? That's gonna be
Yeah,
crazy amount of progress, and that's what you really see. For the days, you see a lot of change in your mind and in the way you feel about things and how you perceive things. It's incredibly intense experience. All right, so let's get to it. Before we get into how was the day for day one, let's maybe talk a little bit about what was the schedule like. What did it look like?
okay, yeah.
You you wanna do it or?
Yeah, I can try. So yeah, the day zero they explain us like how's going to be like every the day to day. So when they start saying, they say, okay, so we wake up at 4 a.m. and it was like, what, 4 a.m.? Yeah, and you're gonna wake up with a gong, like a ping, with a gong from a bell. And it was like, no, I'm not going to wake up with that sound. I mean, I need a proper ring, like, and yeah, so 4 a.m. we wake up, we have like 30 minutes to brush our teeth and like do the stuff, go to the toilet, and then 4:30 was it? You have the first meditation. So it's 2 hours and when you wake up at 4 a.m., of course it's not outside, it's night light, it's not light, it's you can see the stars, like it's crazy, and you have to go to the meditation room, and it's quiet, pretty quiet, and it's the light were off also, and
Yeah.
and I remember it was like this sound, the song, it was something like singing, no? But I was at the end of the.
No, that
Help me
was
with
that
that.
was that was at the end. The first hour was like just quiet. There was no explanation, nothing. Just people sit there and
Okay.
they meditated based on the instruction of the day before, usually. But it was just silent, and then the hour later, the teacher joined us, the prof, and then later the music started, which is always like, we are there.
Yeah, and in the first day was just crazy because they didn't told us what to do. Like you were like by yourself in your, because they give you like a square piece of cushion. I don't know. It was like
Yeah.
you have your number. Also, you have like your place to meditate, as you have the place to eat, like your number and your sitting place. You have your sitting place also in the meditation hall, and that was your space. Like you have like this 1 meter square, and that's your place. You cannot move from there. And yeah, the first thing was hard because, I mean, if you are like into meditation, you know how to meditate. But to me, it was like what I'm doing now. Like I have to think what I do. Like I have to watch my breathe. I don't know what like was really hard the first day to me. I was with a lot of expectation when I was like, okay, what I'm doing now, what I have to do, because it was like that. So it was 2 hours. Now the first round was like 2 hours, 4:30 to 6:30.
Yeah, yeah, and to that I remember for the first day that just before we went to the retreat, I just had like a short call with my friend, and he was like, "Oh, you're gonna meditate like that many hours a day? Like that's great." I'm like, I usually like I can focus for about 3 minutes and then I'm gone. And then I remember the first day coming into the meditation hall, and I was there like, I'm gonna meditate for 2 hours. Like, how the hell I'm gonna do this? Like, I have no
Yeah,
no
but there's
clue.
nothing. It's nothing else to do. I mean, if you
Yeah,
think about it, it's nothing else to do. So okay, let's meditate. Like yeah, it's this or nothing. So I prefer to be meditating, like doing nothing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
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 let's try.
yeah.
And
Okay, so
I have to be honest. Sometimes I was like pretending to meditate because at the beginning I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay here, I'm gonna sit, and I'm gonna try to like look like I'm meditating. And then like I start meditation, like, because I was okay, let's try. But yeah, I was pretending at the beginning, like, because I didn't know what to do. So it was kind
how
of
how
crazy
how
that also, because
how, how, how
everyone was
does
doing that. So I think I was like, okay, I have to do it too. Like I put my legs like this, like, like very, very uncomfortable, and try to like close my eyes, and okay, I'm doing it. And, yeah. And yeah, counting the time also, like, okay, 1, 2, 3, okay, 60 seconds, okay, 1 minute, 1, 2, 3. I was like this the first time. I was like waiting for the breakfast because I was really hungry. Yeah, it was funny too.
yeah, exactly like this. Okay, okay.
The
When we
first
were
days, I mean, after you get into the technique, you start like feeling, and you enjoy the meditation. Also, it's not that terrible. I mean, it's kind of cool. I really like it. Good experience.
we'll get to the first day and the breathing that we start with. But 4:30 with 2 hours of meditation, and then 6:30 your breakfast, right?
Yeah,
Breakfast.
yeah. 6:30, you have breakfast, and the breakfast is pretty cool. It's vegetarian, but it's a kind of buffet. I mean, yeah, you have like in a long table they put what was it, like fruit.
Oatmeal. Um, yeah, oatmeal. Then there was like oat oat mesh or something like prepared oatmeal spreads.
It
They
was
were
rice also.
rice. Yeah, rice. Hummus. Tahini paste.
Yeah, I
And
felt I felt like I was in Asia, like having breakfast in Asia sometimes. Like the food,
yeah,
it took me to Asia, no? Like, I mean, the flavor, the taste. It was organic. I think everything was organic,
yeah,
and yeah, it was pretty healthy. Yeah, we were eating like for 10 days pretty healthy food. I mean, I'm
yeah,
healthy in the rest of my life, but in there, I mean, if you like eating trash all your life and you get in there, like, it's a detox also about food. You're eating 3 times a day and really good quality food, and you feel really good.
yes. We will get to that 3 times a day. I think after
Okay.
when we get to the snacks, right? Okay, so 6:30 there was I think an hour and a half break, right? So you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
like a
yeah.
half an hour to eat, and then you have a little bit of time to walk, go to shower, or do whatever you. I usually used to nap, to be honest. Like the first time I took at least like 20-minute nap because like I was dead.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what? How many hours of meditation were then?
It was like 8 to 11, so it's 3 hours.
3. So 2 and then 3
Three.
hours meditation. So it doesn't get shorter.
Yeah,
It
so we
just
have
get harder.
5. We did at the 11 a.m. in the morning. We did 5 hours of meditation. I mean, it was It's just crazy. If you think like that, it's crazy. At 11, in my day of today, at 11, I'm just waking up. And it was like, we did 5
Yeah,
hours of meditation.
exactly. And then there was lunch, which was just the same, pretty
Yeah.
organic food. It was really nice. There was usually like a small dessert that would really make my day. Like I
Yeah.
was just like,
Yeah.
that kept me going. The desserts kept me going. Like a
And then,
tiny dessert, but
you know
perfect.
what? You know what? I think every lunch was different. I mean, I was expecting like the same food every day, and it was
Mm.
every day was different. You had soup, you have like a main course. I mean, you have like a size plate, like you have rice every food. You have like I don't know, a fruit. You have dessert. Like it was pretty good. I mean, the food was really good, and every day was different. I was expecting like the same day and the same food every day, the same food, but no, it was really good too.
Yeah. No, I totally
So
agree.
after that, 12 we have like this if you have any question about the technique, you can ask to have like a small interview with the teacher, no, like the professor. You write your name in a small paper, and they call you like, Javier, come to the place, to the it was in the meditation hall also. And yeah, I went every day because I was needing to talk. So I was
The-
getting interviews every day because I was needing to talk with someone. No, because I had like question about the technique. I was needing to talk. So yeah,
because this is the only place where you can basically talk to somebody.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's
yeah. And you can no. It's not about talking. It's about watching. Like eye contact. I was needing eye
mm,
contact. No, not like chatting. Eye contact. I did. And that
yeah,
was really
exactly.
hard. Yeah. So you have
Okay,
1 hour from 12
one.
to 1 p.m. No,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
free time, or if you want to have the interview, you have like 5 minutes interview with the teacher, the professor.
Okay,
Um,
so now we had and so what happens after? How many hours of meditation are there after one?
so from 1 to 5 was 4 hours. Was 4 hours?
Yeah. So you
No,
start with two, then you go to
yeah,
three, and then you go to four. Like the day is doesn't getting
yeah.
easier because you think like, okay, I've done
Those,
2 hours, and there's like there's three more.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not 4 hours like straight. You have like small breaks every
Yeah.
hour, and yeah, you have like 1 hour, and then you can go for a walk, like 5 minute walk, and then you have another hour, and then 5 minute walk, and then yeah, and yeah, that 4 hours to me were like, okay, I have to pass this, and then that's it, because after that it's getting like quiet, like it's not getting that hard. Like those 4 hours were like, okay, now it's the 4 hours straight, and yeah, that's like, yeah,
Yeah, and
we
then
have to
at
pass
five,
through this time.
that was tough though. That was
That
tough. Though.
it
And
was really
then
tough.
and then you have five, and at five is the last food of the day. At five, which is also ridiculous, I think, especially if you live in Argentina, which I
Yeah,
if willing,
if you, if you,
willing to
if
eat
you,
at midnight.
do you think that's food for us? I mean, it was like a piece of fruit and a half.
Yeah,
That's not eating to me. That's a snack.
and,
It's
and
that's
yeah,
not
exactly.
dinner.
And the funny thing is that actually the students who have done the course once already, they couldn't eat that snack. So you were basically doing a 19-hour intermediate fasting because you only ate during the window of 5 hours, which is another, like the retreat is kind of like a boost of all these good habits that people talk about. Wake up before 5, 4, to intermediate fasting, mental silence from distraction. Then, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, and then we had I think an hour break, right? And then 6, one more hour of meditation, and
Yeah,
then
6 to 7.
what would you call what was after? I always struggle to find the right word.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like they call it in Spanish el discurso. I don't know how
Yeah,
would I call it in English. It's
like a
yeah.
chat of it was like a podcast actually, because it was
Yeah,
just
it was
just so.
yeah. I could call it a podcast, a podcast from the Goenka, which is the main teacher of this technique, or something like that. Like he was the a millionaire from.
Yeah,
You
from
you have to call
from
it.
Okay, I'm gonna tell the story of Goenka.
Yeah.
So Goenka was actually living. He was born in Burma, but he had an Indian heritage. He was an Indian as his race, I think, if that's a cool word. And he was a pretty successful entrepreneur when he was young. And then he got massive headaches, and he was trying to find a solution across the world. Went to a lot of different doctors, and nobody was able to help him. At one point, somebody told him about Vipassana. And the thing is that the Vipassana as a technique is part of the Buddhism, right? And then you have the Buddhism philosophy. And the Kotva Buddha was kind of teaching this Vipassana technique meditation. And then it stayed in India for some time. At one point, it kind of vanished. And it's the only thing that stayed was the philosophy of Buddhism that is still very traditional, right, in India. But there was one emperor who basically liked the Vipassana meditation so much that he sent teachers to other countries around, to Malaysia, Thailand, also Burma. And in Burma, the tradition was kept alive. And so there he learned about the Vipassana meditation. And he eventually, actually the funny thing is that when he went to his teacher, he told him like, I have a headaches and I heard that this meditation could help me. And the guy told him, oh, sorry, I cannot accept you because this technique is not to help you relieve your pain of your head. It's to liberate your mind. If you go here with a purpose of getting rid of a pain, that's not the reason to be here. And I thought about it and I was like, oops. Because I pretty much came to the course, I thought like, hey, it's going to be a great challenge to be silent, meditate. I had no expectation. And the other thing was like, I mean, it's free and I'm traveling. So what's the worst case scenario that can happen? Like, I will save some money. Worst case scenario, I just leave and I will say goodbye. I think he would not be proud of me, man. They would not accept me to that class.
Yeah, yeah. After like 2 days, I started thinking about leaving. But I was like, okay, I'm in the middle of like how I get to my place. Like from here, I have no car, so it's really hard to go back to my city. You know, like I need someone to take me there. So okay, I'm staying because it's really hard to leave. Not because I didn't want to leave, because it was like really hard to think about leaving because I don't know. I had to take like a taxi from there to the city to the small town is close to this place, and then take a bus, and then take the train, and well, it was so complicated to do that. So okay, I'm staying.
Yeah. By the way, I think that the spot for the whole meditation retreat was beautiful. Like the sunset, there was nature. There was nothing around basically that would really disturb you. You were really separated from the outside world. So I think the location was really good. But going back to the Goenka, so he did start with this Burma teacher to do Vipassana. He really liked it. And he eventually, in 1969, I think, he became a teacher. The previous teacher let him be a teacher. And then he took the Vipassana meditation back to India and started these retreat centers where we did the 10-day Vipassana retreat. So it's basically in this tradition. I think he passed in like 2013, but all the recordings in the course are still from him. He's such a funny voice, like in all the different languages he speaks. Like he is everything. He's a metal what do you call it? Singer. He's a rapper. He's like this podcaster. It's a really funny persona. So that was the 1.5 hour of Discord, and then we closed the day with half an hour of meditation, and then basically off to sleep, right? So now we have discussed, Javi, what the day looked like, and then we talked a little bit about the first day. So what did we do the first day, and how was the experience for you?
To me, it was like the first day was like I was like, okay, like trying to figure out what's going to be the next 10 days, because it was like the first try of meditation, the first try of eating just 3 times a day, the first time of like no talking at all, no contact with others. Like what was like more like okay, like the trial, you know, like the first day was like the trial, and I was like, okay, how I'm feeling with this, how I'm feeling with that, and yeah, it was kind of that the first day. It was easy because everything was new. Like I was like doing new things, and I was like, okay, really, really excited about that, like doing things for first time. And yeah, I think was pretty good. I think the second day was harder, but the first day was like, okay, everything is new. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to do it.
You know what I remember about the first day? So the first day, maybe we should tell what we did was you were basically instructed to just observe your breath as it comes and goes from your body in like the small part of your nostril at the end of the nostril, just there, just focus there and observe the breath. And in comparison to other meditation that I've done, was you didn't play with the breath. You really try to just leave it as natural. If it goes through one nostril, it goes through one nostril. If it goes through both, it goes through both. Just really just observe it. Don't do anything else. Don't try to change it. Um, and that for me, it wasn't hard as you said, it was new. So it was kind of like, okay, I can do this, you know. But what was like difficult for me is that like I could not concentrate. I could do like 10 breaths and my mind was gone. And the only thing I
Yeah,
thought about like
yeah,
was
yeah.
how the hell I'm gonna do 10 days of this. Like I can't even do this like basic thing and there's gonna be more of it. It's like how I'm gonna do it. And then the funny thing, as we talked about the evening podcast or talks with the teacher, I remember you were saying like, yeah, if your mind got disrupted for 2 minutes and you go and think about something for 2 minutes, it's okay. If it's for 15 minutes, it's okay. Just when you realize, go back to the breathing. And I was like, and I don't think it was just me, but you kind of felt it like the vibe, like everybody was like, so it's okay that your mind wanders for like 20 minutes somewhere else and you don't meditate. But that's actually part of the meditation, is to realize that you wandered and then just going back and then your mind wander, and that's kind of like the normal thing, which like for me.
Yeah, I think that was the first exercise was that, like, okay, like being conscious, like your mind is going, I don't know, flying away, and you have to bring it back. I think it was the first day was about that, like, okay, being like being conscious about your mind is going, and you have to take it back. And yeah, I think the first day was really hard because yeah, you were like not prepared to do that. It's something like you don't do in your life, and yeah, like you I mean, if you stay in silence for 5 minutes, your mind start like bringing ideas, and that was like, okay, it's bringing ideas, but I have to be like I have to be in my breath. And it was like, okay, I'm going, okay, go back, I'm going. Yeah, it was like that. Yeah, like yeah, but sometimes the ideas are really good, and you're feeling good about your what you thought, you know. And yeah, it was kind of challenging to take it back sometimes. Like
Okay, then there was day two. So you said it was the hardest one.
day
How did
two,
it go?
okay. Yeah. Because the first day it was like, okay, everything's new. I know what I'm learning the technique. I'm having this experience about everything around also. And the second day was, okay, I know what we're gonna do. I did it yesterday, so okay, today I know I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't like it to be like sitting for 1 hour, 2 hours in the same place, not moving at all, like just breathing, and I was like suffering. I mean, you know, like okay, it's gonna be the second day. It's going to be the same as the first day, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna do it because I cannot leave. So I'm because they say like try not to leave the place. Like you have these 10 days. You did a lot of arrangement to be here for 10 days. So if you're here, try to do it. Give 10 days to the technique. So I was like, okay, I have to do it. I did many because I have my dog, so I have to ask someone to 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 take care of my dog. So I was like, okay, I did many things to stay here, so I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay 10 days. And I was the second day was no, I'm leaving because you know after the 2 hours of meditation from 4 in the morning, it was like what I'm doing here, just breathing out, breathing in. It was like, okay, stop, I need to stop. I was like, no. It was kind of like a inside battle, you know, inside my brain was like some part of myself was trying to leave, and some part was like, oh no, stay and do what you have to do. Okay, so I was like thinking about this and breathing, thinking about living and breathing. And I was like, yeah, like this battle inside myself. And I was like, okay. And yeah, it was 10, the 10 hours of meditation that day was about that, about fighting with myself, with living and staying. I was like, okay, just waiting for the time, the free time to eat, the free time to walk around. I was like, yeah, I think it was the hardest day, the second day.
Yeah, I like what you said about I think that's kind of, it is a kind of an internal fight. I had the same. I never, I didn't really had like a feeling of leaving on the second day. But I went to the meditation hall and I was like, it's gonna be grueling. And then I came after the breakfast and I was like, it's gonna be grueling again, another 3 hours of grueling. Like it's tough. Like it's not like impossible. It's just like that. It's a mental effort to stay, and like the determination is fucking tough, man. Like that was really for me was hard. And sometimes I went to the meditation hall and I had this song in my head. It was like that was the only thing that I would really want to share with people. Some of the like internal jokes that came to my mind, and I was just like, I just want to share this with somebody. Like otherwise, like it wasn't that difficult for me not to talk to people the first few couple of days. But I had like this song which says something like "We are the meditators of today," and and then sometimes you have to put like a repellent in the evening on yourself. So it's like, yes, I'm putting my fighter mask on, and like I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's meditate. Let's observe and don't react to anything. We can do it. That's like my internal chatter. um,
Yeah, I think I mean you are 10 hours in silence with yourself. Like you have like many ideas, many thoughts. I mean, like it's just really intense because the thing is where you have no external, like it's nothing happening outside, so it's everything is happening inside. So it's like you can be with yourself and you have an idea and you start like working in that idea. So I made like 10 ideas for business to make millionaire, like I was like getting an idea and I was like drawing the plans of a house. I was like just thinking about many things, but really deep, because you start thinking about something and you have no distraction, so you can be in that idea for, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and you get deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's no distraction, so your mind gets like really focused. I mean, you have to be breathing, but yeah, it that happen. Like you just start like thinking about, and you have like these memories about things that you don't remember for like, I don't know, things like 10 years ago happened, and you didn't think about it like for 10 years, and then they came, and I was like, what I'm thinking about this? This happened, like this is not really important in my life. It's not relevant, but I remember this. Like I remember this thing that happened like 10 years ago, and this person, and what it came out. Like why now? Like this is, and that's really cool. Like it's, yeah, it's something that happened. I mean, you have to be like breathing and just doing nothing, but your mind goes away, like you
yeah,
start flying, and it's because it's so simple what you have to do. You need something more complex. I mean, you're just like watching your breath. Like you have to, and it's so simple. So your brain start like making complex ideas.
yeah,
I don't know what's happening inside yourself, but you have it. You're feeling it. That's the thing. It's all about feelings. It's not about thinking about the trying to, I don't know, to use your brain. It's just feeling your body, feeling your. It's about feeling, and we are not really used to feel. I mean, yeah, you're, yeah. I don't know.
yeah. And I think that that's nice transition to day three, because the day three we changed the type of the meditation. I think it was day 2 or 3, right? One of them, when we you stop focusing on your breath and you basically start to focusing on the area between your upper lip and your nose, like this small triangle here, I think, right? and
Yeah,
and then you had to observe any sensation, which can be anything. And the guy goes on into explanation, explains like 20 different sensation, like hot, cold, vibration, itching, scratching, like, oh, scratching, that's not really its reaction, but all these kind of different sensation. And there's not like right or wrong, it's just observing what you feel. And then like when I started, I was like, not, I don't feel anything. Like it's like, but that's okay too. You just keep observing, and nothing is nothing, you know. And you're like, but why other people feel something and I don't? Um,
yeah. And to be honest, I didn't feel anything in this area, like nothing at all. Not even the third day, the fourth day. But after, yeah, I start feeling. But it was like, okay, what I have to feel? Like it's just a really small part of my face. I mean, I'm not going to feel anything. I was like, and I was like hours, hours, like just. like trying to concentrate here, and I had like this problem. I don't know. That my my eyes is like trying to see. I was like with my, I mean like I couldn't see it, but I was like going with my eyes to this part, and it was like, okay, maybe with this doing this, I'm gonna start feeling. I don't know, but it was like, yeah, not, like it was like I need to feel something because everyone is feeling something, and then the teacher once a day they ask, okay, the I don't know, Javi, Luis, whatever, the five of us go with him like in a small
Yeah.
room, and they're like, okay, Javi, you're feeling something? Yeah, yeah, I'm feeling. Okay, you're done. I'm feeling. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was my turn. I was, yeah, I'm feeling. Uh, kind of. Yeah, yeah, kind of. Because yeah, you have to say
uh,
that you cannot be the only one who's not feeling.
yeah,
So
but that's kind of the
yeah,
lesson to it, right? Because like what you said, like you had your eyes closed. Well, I think most of the people didn't have their eyes closed like all the time. Like I didn't for sure, and I'm pretty sure that a lot because there was a lot of comparison going on. Like that to me, I think was like around day 2 or 3. I really noticed that you like look around and you're like, did somebody stretch their legs? Can I stretch my legs now too? Uh, like it's just difficult.
and you can hear how they are moving, like because we were like really close and it was pretty quiet. So if you move like your leg a bit slowly, you can hear it. I mean, we are really pretty close. Even if someone like from the other side of the hall, it was pretty big. The place was like I don't know, 15 meters to 30. It was pretty big, but yeah, still every small sound you can like feel it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was nice to see the this kind of social approval and the competition. Like sometimes there were moments when you could like go and meditate in your room during the afternoon. I think mainly, and that would be fun because the first part you kind of had to meditate in the hall, right? And you could go, and then the professor was like, if you want, you can continue meditate here, or you can go to your room and meditate there. And then like people would stay, and then at one point he left, and then slowly, like one by one, people start moving, and it was like always like, is there still a lot of people, or am I staying? Am I going? Like, no, I can do it. I can do it. I'll be here till the end. I can do this. Like it's really hilarious now. And
Uh,
in the end, none of the matters.
yeah, I was one of the first one to leave.
Yeah,
I was one of the first to leave. Like I was like pretty quiet, like going out, like very slowly, like being quiet, and I was like, yeah, yeah, like it was too much. So yeah,
yeah, and
I want to say I have.
yeah, and none of it mattered, right?
No,
It was all about just the observation. There was no competition, and there is no competition because it doesn't matter actually what you feel, right? Within and that's we're gonna move already to day 4, because the whole home vipassana is about not just looking at this small part between your upper lips, but then you start at your skull, and then you start basically scanning your whole body for sensations, right? But the important thing is not what you feel. The important thing is not to react to it, to just observe it. So if you feel nothing, it's as good as if you feel like some blissful vibration in your body, or if you feel pain, which we felt all, and we're gonna talk about it as well. But it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter. Like there's nobody who meditates better than you. It's like there's no competition of how you meditate. There's only competition of how they call it equanimity, right? How equanimous you are. So how
Equanimity.
able
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are observe and not to react to all these things, basically. Um. Okay, so day 4. For me, day 4 was one of the days when I was like, screw this. That was a hard day for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we kind of kept focusing on this little part around your upper lip and the nose, right? And then in the afternoon, we started Vipassana, and I was like, let's do it. Something, you're in your mind, something new, like that's gonna
Yeah.
keep me.
Because the first 3 days we did hasana or something like that. It was hasana. That is not vipassana. We were doing like another technique that is like the way you start doing like meditation is like focusing in one part of your body and trying to be focused in that part. And the 4th day they say, okay, let's start vipassana. I was like, what were we doing? Like, well, what was before? Like, okay, that was not vipassana, was hasana. So we were doing vipassana. I was like, okay, let's just start now. Like, I was like, it was a reset to me. Like, okay, now I'm gonna feel things. Like, so before I was like expecting like, okay, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And that was okay. Now it's happening. And it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But yeah, it didn't happen
Yeah.
that fast.
Yeah, and then so there's this like expectation it's gonna be new and it's gonna keep me going, and then uh he like introduced us to the Vipassana technique, which, as we said, you basically start scanning your body for sensation, and then I introduce you to different way of you can scanning your body, and you get deeper and deeper by the every day to the technique. But then he said something which I was like, what? And they introduced this, what did they call it in English? Would be like the session of strong determination. So before that, they instructed us not to move, kind of sit in the meditation position, close your eyes. But now they say, hey, every day, 3 times, I think was at 8, then 1, and then 7 in the evening or something like that. There is an hour of strong determination. It basically means you can't move your leg, you uncross them or move them. You can't uncross your hands or move them. And you have to keep your eyes closed for 1 hour. And I was like, no way. Because I was in a pain. Like, I was sitting like you sitting 10 hours in this cross-leg position. Your feet felt like they were going to fall apart. My back hurted. And I was like, no way. No way I can sit for 1 hour like in this. Like, it's no way. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And I did it the first time, but I was like, how am I gonna do this for 6 more days? This was really difficult for me. Okay, so we started with the Vipassana. How was the first day of Vipassana for you?
No, I think the fight was hard because it was in the middle of the retirement. So because in the dinner room we had this sign with the number of the day. I don't know if you remember that. Like, every day they were changed, like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 5. And I was like having breakfast, watching the sign, like day 5. I say, okay, 5 days, we are in the half, and I want to leave. I was like, okay, day 5. It's a long way to finish the retirement. I was like, okay, it's 5 days more, and I was okay, let's do it. And when I went to the meditation room, I was like, okay, I will do the best I have. Like, I will try my best. So I started like feeling this subtle vibration. Like I was like trying to do the scan in my body, and I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. Like, I was like a bit surprised that I was like feeling it, and I was like surprised because I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. It was like I was like not really sure that I was like going to feel something. When I start like feeling this sudden vibration like around my body, I was like what's happening? Like, what I'm feeling this? Like, I was like a bit shocked about the experience. I was like, okay, I like it, because it was pretty cool, the sensation. And it was like, okay, I want to feel it more. So I was like, okay, let's focus more. Let's focus on the breath. Like, let's try to make it like more intense, the sensation. And it was like, I like it. It was like a click that they fired to me, because it was like, it's happening. It's happening. Like the things that you hear in the podcast at night, like in the chatting from the professor, I was like feeling it, and I was like, okay, I'm doing good. Because before that I was doing like what I'm doing. If I didn't know if I was like doing right the exercise, the technique, and in this point the day 5 was like, okay, it's happening. I'm doing a good work. Like, I'm doing it good because I'm feeling it. So yeah, it was kind of like a click day to me. It was like okay, let's do it. Let's try to feel like, to focus. Let's try to invest, like really invest my time in here. Like, it's working. So it was like a click day to me, the day 5.
I don't know if I think day 5 was okay, but one thing that I realized that kind of stuck with me for the rest of the retreat was the fact that it was the day 5, and as he said, it was a half of a retreat, but it really wasn't, because it was the morning of the day 5, so that means there was still 6 days in front of you. And that really, like, that mathematics really fucked me up, because I was always thinking like, okay, day 7, and I was like, how is it day 7 and there's still 4 days left? Like, how is this? Still makes no, this makes no sense.
That was true.
But yeah, day 5 was I think it was okay, and day 6 was a day of ibuprofen for me. I don't know if you had a day like that, but I thought I was the only person, but I realized after that video I was not the only person. I think that almost everybody had the day of ibuprofen, and like I had this massive pain here in my back, like this big spot, like that's just like there was this vibrating pain, and I was like, man, my back is swollen. Like I need some ibuprofen. I don't really need it for the pain, but I need it for the inflammation, so it get like a little bit better, because like this is really bad. And like it kept me from the morning till the lunch, and I was like, if this doesn't stop, I'm going to the manager, which was called Tony, and I was like, I'm going to tell him, Tony, either I'm going to get ibuprofen, I'm like, I'm gone from here, because there's no way I can sit with this pain for another like day. And the funny thing was that, and I was actually planning to talk to the professor, and I don't know why, I guess I was lazy or forgotten to write my name, so I couldn't talk to him. So I was like, I'll wait till the evening. And by the evening meditation, the pain like disappeared. And I was like, all right, so I guess that's not inflammation, because, I'll probably sense it still, it doesn't like go away in few hours. I was like, this weird. And I don't know if you had these moments, but I had a couple of moments when I was like really observing how powerful the mind is. Because I remember when we were sitting in the strong determination, I had my fingers like this a few times, and I felt like my fingertips, like the tops of my fingerprints, are going to explode. I felt like this all blood. It was so hot. There was so much tension. And I was just like, they're just going to pop, man. I'm going to bleed out here. And it's like, I can't do this for another, like, whatever, 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever amount of minutes was left. I was just like, I'm going to die here. And then the funniest thing is like the meditation like terminated, and you move your finger by a little millimeter. You did like this, and that whole sensation just like vanished, And I had like many examples like that when I was feeling something, like I felt like something was scrolling on my neck, but there wasn't really nothing. It was just like your mind. And then I think in one of the talks he said that you feel the pain, right? But he said like 70% or something like that of the pain is in your head, and the 30% is what you really feel. And it's
it's like your mind has multiplied the pain. Like it's true. Like I was like feeling like, I don't feel my legs. I mean, I'm feeling a lot of pain in my legs because of the position, and I was like, okay, but let's focus in my hands. My hands are okay. So I start like focusing in other parts of my body, and I forgot about the pain on my legs. Like I was like, okay, I know it's painful, the position. I know I have pain in my legs, but I don't care. I mean, I was like, it's okay. It's gonna happen. It's gonna pass away. I mean, I'm not going to feel it like for longer. Like I'm feeling it now, but in 5 minutes it's gonna be gone. So it's kind of like you have the experience, like in your day to day, you have like an itchy and you don't have it anymore. Like you react to that, and it was like, okay, I know it exists, but it's okay. I'm not doing nothing. I have to just let it be. Let the pain stay. Let the pain just pass, and that's it. And it happened. That's a great thing. It's happening. Everything you have the experience. It's not like someone told you it's gonna happen. You feel it. You start feel the pain, and then the pain gets really, really, really strong, and then it start like getting low, and then it disappears. And it happened like in your legs, in your face, in everywhere. Like it's happening everywhere, and you see, okay, that's the mind. It's making the pain like that hard. It's not that hard. I mean, you can control your body from your mind, and it's like, okay, that's one thing that I got from the experience. Like, okay, it's everything. It's in here. It's not my body. It's in my mind. Like the pain, it's happening in my heart. I mean, if I cut my finger, I feel it, but it's not that strong.
Yeah.
What the feeling? It's more about how my mind is feeling. It's not how deep is I hurt my finger. That's one thing that I got from the experience. I was like life changing.
Yeah, and I think I would say two things to that. Like the first one that you mentioned is Vipassana is really about, and they say it, right? Come to the retreat for 10 days and experience the technique on yourself. If you don't like it afterwards, then don't do it. If it doesn't like improve your life, don't do it. But just give it the 10-day try, which is actually not 10-day because it's like, as we said, very intense. It's like 100 hours, right?
It's
And
12
it's actually
days.
it's actually 12 days as well. But experience it, and it's all about the experience. So a lot of the times, like a lot of the things that I kind of had this realization or this observation during the retreat, like the one that we talk about now, that the pain is really in your mind and this uncomfortable feelings, and you can just focus on something else and it will go at one point, is things that we know, it's things that we've been taught, that you read in the books, but that's on the level of kind of, yeah, I read it, I know it works this way, but then
It's knowledge.
yeah, it's
not
knowledge. Yeah,
experience,
exactly. It's knowledge. It's not the experience. And it's a massive difference because the knowledge is like once you're in a situation and something is hurting, you're like, it's hurting. I don't care that you say like this will pass, it hurts right now. But here, like in this hours of meditation, you just see things come and go, like all kind of sensation. And some stay for day, some stay for seconds, some for minutes, some for hours. And after the retreat, we had an interesting conversation. Like, well, it was a short conversation, but we talked about, would you think this would work if you only meditate for, I don't know, 5-7 minutes? I read that day article, how to change your life by meditating 7 days a minute. And I think for this particular type of meditation, it wouldn't really work because in 7 minutes, you're not going to see that much change. But if you sit somewhere for 2 hours, you're going to see a lot of different change. You will also be pretty surprised that you could sit there for 2 hours. I don't know if you had it, but sometimes I was just like, as you said it, right, in the beginning, sometimes the hours felt like, oh, it's finished? Oh, right. And sometimes it was like, no way it's finished. And I don't know if you remember this funny talk, but there was the one day when the teacher was like, yeah, so you start a strong determination and the first 30 minutes it's really easy. And then the next 50 minutes, it's becoming harder. And then the last 10 minutes afterwards, you're already thinking, what a bastard teacher. He must put more time than 1 hour. This could not be 1 hour. It must have been longer than 1 hour. Like, how is this 1 hour? It's impossible in 1 hour. Like, I've been sitting here at least for 2 hours. And the funny thing is that is just your reaction to what you're experiencing. And then 1 hour is 1 hour. It's always 1 hour. But sometimes it feels like it drags along and you're like, no way, it's like it must come like right now. And then, by the way, before the end of the meditation, they were always playing a song, as you mentioned. And you were like, oh my God, another 2 minutes of meditation or 5 or how, I don't know how much it was. They were like, okay, I can do this. It's just 5. And then in the morning, they always like the song got longer and longer. So every time you were like, okay, just 5 minutes more, just 5 minutes more. And then it was like, there was this part that you remember and you're like, okay. And now we finish. And then it was quiet. And then he started again. And I'm like, oh no, like it's impossible. It must end right now. Oh my God. There's, oh.
Yeah, the morning was the full album. It was not just one song. It was the full album, right. Like maybe 5-6 songs together. Like, yeah, when I started hearing the music, like the song, I was like, okay, yeah, it's ending. And I was like, yeah, 3 minutes longer. Like, yeah. And yeah, but it was beautiful music, beautiful songs. When you're like, we are in the determination, strong determination hours, I started like hearing the music. I was like, okay, it's ending. And you just start relaxing your body because it's ending. And yeah, it was kind of cool that. But some hours, before I was like thinking, okay, the first days are going to be hard and then it's going to be easier and easier and easier. And the day 10, I was like being able to stay like 2 hours. And it wasn't like that. Like the 5 day, I feel really, really easy to stay the 2 hours meditation. And then the day 9, it was like, okay, it's harder than the day 1. I don't know why, but some days you wake up and you want to do it, and some days you wake up and say no meditation today, but you have to do it. And it's I was like, okay, after a couple of days, I'm going to be a master of meditation. I was like that, like it's still today, like it's really hard to me to do it. Even I did like 10 hours meditation for 10 days today. To stay 1 hour like sitting, it's hard. I mean, it's all about practice. But yeah, it depends of the day. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
determination, I think.
yeah, and
I
also
and
it's the Nietzsche, right? Sometimes you're motivated, sometimes you are not motivated. Like the motivation is impermanent as well, a little bit. And I think the other, I remember this story. I don't know if it happened to you or somebody else said the story, but they went to the teacher like on, I don't know, day 5 or 6, and they were like, "I can do it. I can do it. Like I can keep meditating. Like I'm done. Like I can do it." And the teacher was like, "Oh, that's okay. No worry. You can do it today. Keep working." And I was like, to me, that was the most hilarious thing because that was like exactly the motto of the whole 10 days for me. Like, oh, you can do it. You feel like it sucks. It's okay. Just keep doing it, like it will change, nothing. Yeah.
yeah, it's no reaction. It's no reaction. No one is telling you nothing. Yeah, it's no reaction. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It's just like no. I want to discuss what I can do. Tell me how I'm doing. And because it's what you expect. Like it's normally when you have a problem, someone say, yeah, okay, let's try to fix it. Like this is no. It's happening. It's happening. Just let it be. And tomorrow work harder. Tomorrow try again. And this no one is giving you a clue. Like, it's all your work. I mean, if you want to go there and do nothing, you can do nothing. If you want to go there and like really focus in the meditation, you can do it. Like no one is telling you is evaluation your meditation. It's whatever you want to do, whatever you want to like experience. It's your experience. Like no one is telling you, okay, no, try harder. No, it's okay. This is what you can do. Do the like, yeah. I felt really comfortable with that. Like no one is telling you like how you have to feel and no, try stronger. Like no one is giving you instruction. Like I mean, yes, but if it's nothing happen, it's okay. Also, like everything's happening, it's good. Like it doesn't matter how you feel, it's good. And to me, it was really good, that part of the philosophy.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of motivate you, like really use the time you have here to your advantage. But hey, it's your time. You know how you feel. You know what kind of experience you have. Like and that's exactly what happened. Some people, they were like this older guy who was, I don't know, like 60 or something. No, 65 maybe. He was already retired, right? I think. And he got a chair because he was just like, he had so much pain he couldn't sit. They just offered him a chair. And then like I see some other people getting chair. And then also you saw some people who had a chair like going back to the seats, like, so it's really, the rules are strict, but like people want you to succeed, right? They want you to get the most of the 10 days. And that's why everything is structured the way it is. And that's also why it's really well organized. I think that's what I was surprised. Like all the things that we talk about, the habitation, the food, everything is really thought through to a little tiny detail. And I think that's also because the people who are preparing everything have done the retreat. So they know exactly how you felt because they're in your shoes.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, is also part of the, one thing that's, but we're going to talk about what we learn a little bit later. Let's just finish these few last days. Which to me were a lot similar. But for me, I think the hard days were like the day 8, 9, where I felt like you're kind of there, but not really. And it's all the same. And you're kind of like, I've already done it. Why should I stay?
Yeah. After the 7th day, it's every day is the same. Like at the day 7, they teach you the whole Vipassana technique, and that's it. From day 7 to day 10, you do every day the same, and that's it. It's not like a plus, like it's that. Like you have the technique from the day 7, I think, or day 6, and that's it. Like doing every hour the same, and it's not changing. I mean, it's that, and you have to do it. And yeah, it's like, and that happened to me also. Like in the day 7, I have the really strong experience of free flow. Like I was feeling like vibration all over my body. I was like, okay, that's it. I already had the sensation. Like that's it. I can leave now. Like, and it was really hard to stay like the day 8, the day 9, and the day 10. I was like, okay, but I had the experience. So I don't know. It was like,
Yeah, I agree as well. I had something similar, and also, but I think it's important to stay because that's where you're gonna see the things like, oh, maybe nine, then nine. It's like I heard after retreat when we talked to the other people who've been there together with us. You hear all these people like, oh, after day 8, I started like feeling all this great sensation. It was all like beautiful, and like day 8, I started having like this massive pain like here in my nose and like in my I was probably sick, so
mm,
I felt it like in a different way than normally because I was actually observing it, and it was horrible, man. And I was just like, I just want to be over with this, you know. But then it also goes, you know, and that's like all the things like you reach this point where everything is great, but that will pass well as well, and then you're gonna maybe hit another day which is not that great, and it's like kind of repetition. Uh, yeah, that I think was that was for me. And then the day 9, like there was just the day before, because on the day 10, after I think 9 or something, you can talk to other people, right? And I was just like at day
yeah,
9, I was ready. I was just like, I want to talk to some people. I want to know what it's been like, and then day 10 arrived, and we had this last kind of lecture meditation, and afterwards people left outside, and it was funny because like you could notice that people weren't sure if they can talk or not, and like you were one of the first one that like left with some people and talked, but a lot of other people were like kind of standing around,
yeah,
and they were like, you know, is it okay? I don't know if you noticed, by the way, but I think that from the day 1, when like most of the people are looking really to the ground, like they didn't want to see anybody, like by the days
yeah,
progress, you could see people like more lifting their eyes and kind of see more what's happening over there. Like sometimes even meeting somebody with eyes like, fuck, I shouldn't be doing this. And then like these people are like looking around like, okay, can we talk? And then these little groups start forming, and like people and then we form like a big circle, right?
yeah.
How was this?
It was yeah, like we were like it was pretty cool. Like all together, the 28 that we were like very not the 28, but maybe 20. We made like this a circle, and we started like talking about the experience and talking about how we were feeling, and yeah, it was pretty cool because we were all together sharing, and we felt like a family. I had like this feel about like I know you. I mean, we haven't talked, but I know you because we were like sharing this experience for 10 days, like crossing our paths, going to the toilet, maybe crossing our paths, going into the room, crossing our paths like many times. And, like I was feeling like, okay, I know you. Like we haven't talked, but I know you. Like I have this feeling that we are really close. I don't know if you had the same experience, but I was like, I don't know. I didn't even remember this name. Like I was like, okay, so who are you? Like, what's your name? But I was like knowing someone, but not even like remember his name because I don't know. I didn't ask her his name. Like I was like
Yeah, yeah,
having this like
totally. I totally agree. Yeah, there was this like shared identity of a group built even for, I don't know if you noticed, but what I found really funny was, as you were like, there was pretty much like the rules are made and everything is organized for you, so you don't really have to think and do things. But there are some things that like you could possibly do, but nobody tells you if you can or can't or how you should do them. And for example, the way people stretched, I don't know if you observe like somebody stretch in some way, and then somebody noticed it and were like, that seems cool, I should do that too. And then people are like stretching in different days as they were observing the other people how they stretch, or like doing the same thing with fruit, like the snacks, like people start cutting the fruits and they put like some honey and stuff on it, like that all kind of develop, and then like people observe it. And so it was like, I think there, even though you weren't communicating there, you still notice like, like I don't know, like I like mornings for me were horrible because I had this allergy and maybe being cold at the same time. Like my nose was full, and then you were supposed to sit there, not move, and breathe, and like everything was like running down my nose, and I felt horrible. But there was a couple of, you were the other person that was exactly the same, right?
Yeah,
And
I had it too.
yeah, but then I felt like, man, like I'm so sorry for you, like I know how I suffer. So you feel the compassion for all the people who are there with you, or like admiration, when I see all the guy, and I was like, man, this dude, like this dude here, he's not complaining about stuff. And I'm just like sitting here in my head complaining about my pain. And I'm like, man, like let's do it. Let's like come on, and it like all kind of it was a very diverse group of people as well. Like I don't think you would talk to all kind of like, I don't know if I would like talk or connect with these kind of people on like this level that you see him first time and you will be like, I think I'm gonna have a good conversation with the dude, because they were all kind of different people, like very very different ages, different looks, different like feels, but yet at the same, we were all there having the same experience, the same kind of suffering and determination, and I think that really created the bond, that to me at least.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, completely. Yeah, we were kind of different, but we were looking for something. Like everyone who was in there, I had the feeling that they were looking for something. I don't know why.
Mm.
I don't know what. Maybe they were looking for relieve the suffering, living cigarettes. Like some people go to those places to stop smoking. So everyone was looking for something, and we were like some people in searching. Like someone who is looking for something. We had that in common. I mean, I was looking for the experience. I was looking to have this like how I'm feeling with no talking for 10 days with no phone. So I was looking for that. And maybe another one was looking to get the, I don't know, just, I don't know, get something different. But we were people who was like opening to things to happen. Like we were like many ages, many different professions, many different, I don't know, works, but we were like sharing that. Like we were all, yeah, like people who's looking for something. And yeah, we were like really open mind, and we were like just after the 9 day when we were start talking, we were like having this really deep conversation, because you were like having deep this deep experience took you to a place that you can like just talk about whatever you want, because you're really open, and you have like confidence with the people. You make like a bond, as you say, and you like feel like they are pretty close to you, and you can like open yourself, and you don't need to pretend who you are, because like you were in this place that you feel really good and really good about you, and like you feel like you can be yourself, and no one is gonna judge you, like no one is gonna give you a shit, like no one is gonna point you like, no, you're doing wrong, you're doing good. Like it doesn't care, because it's just whatever you feel, and whatever you're sharing, whatever you are. Like I didn't feel like I have to sell myself. I was who I am. Maybe in my day to day, I have to pretend I am somebody else, and I have to like to fit in some places, and I cannot be who I really am. Like you have to like adapt. And in there, I was like, okay, I'm being myself. I'm being who I really are. Like I don't have to pretend anything. Like it was pretty cool to me, that experience in the day 10. Like I felt really 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 good.
Yeah, I think there are two things that I would add to that. Like one is about not pretending, is like I noticed some people doing things that maybe I would consider weird. Like even though like I don't consider that many things weird, like some things like, like that's a weird thing to do. But at the same time I was like, well man, like if building a castle out of pillow helps you get through this, like I get you, man. Like, because I was thinking like sometimes I must do like weird stuff to other people, because like you're just trying to figure out how to like get through these 10 days. Everybody was trying to find their own ways. And I think that to me, there was a lot of understanding, like whatever you do, like, even though it might sound like the weirdest thing, like, all right, man, like as long as it works for you, I'm happy. I cheer for you.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the fraternity. Like it's like, yeah, like we were all together in this, and yeah, whatever you want to do it. I mean, if you want to do exercise and go for a run, it's okay to me. I mean, it's okay if you feeling that. I mean, it wasn't allowed, but no one is gonna tell you nothing, because you cannot talk. So it doesn't matter. No one is gonna say nothing to you, because it's part of the thing. Like it's kind of cool that.
Okay, let's get to the thing that people will be most interested about, and it's what were the key learnings for you from this experience? And let's maybe let's do you can do one, and then I can do one, and then we can do once or twice, 3 times the round, as much learnings as we have, and then and we can wrap it up.
So, all right. I think the first thing I learned is have more patience than what I thought before. Like I was 10 days with no talking, and it, to me was a big challenge because I love talking. I mean, I talk a lot, and yeah, I think after 10 days, I understand that I can be in silence too, and it's powerful to be in silence. I mean, to be with yourself, it's powerful. Like sometimes I think I will do it in the future. I mean, I will try to take time for myself and to be just in silence, and I think that is one of the things that I say, okay, this is cool. I want this in my life. I don't want to be just experienced for 10 days. I want to do it again. I want to take like an hour, 2 hours, no music, no phone, whatever, like just for myself, and do things with me, like just with no other like things from the outside coming in, just myself stay with me. And yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I took that from the experience. I think
Yeah, no, I agree. That to me also was one of the learnings, that the amount of distractions that you get, and maybe to continue with that, you know, for me one of the learnings was, man, you're fucking strong. I had so many moments when the retreat when I was like, hey, I just meditated for like 10 hours. That's more than in my whole life. Like, wow. I felt like really proud of myself. And then the first strong determination, I was like, I meditated 1 hour without moving. I didn't think that was possible. And then I did once, I did 2 in one morning. And I was like how was that possible, you know? And then I, like, every day I was like, you did 7 days. Like, I didn't think it was possible, you know? And I also noticed that one of the reasons why I was able to accomplish it is because there was this mental silence. There was no distraction. There was no way to run. And I realized, like, whatever I want to do, you know, if I want to write a book, learn something, I can do any of these things. But one of the important things that stays with me is to get rid of the distraction for that hour or half an hour or 2 days, or whatever that time that you need to do it. Just cut off yourself, because we are, you know, we're constantly online, we're constantly doing things, and it's really hard to get rid of it, you know, because there's always this kind of fear of missing out. Like, what if I get a message? What if, you know, something important from a friend, from the family, whatever. But the funny thing is, you know, I've been 10 days without phone, and nothing extremely important happened. Oh, like one thing, but it didn't change. Like one thing that happened, you know, one person close to me passed away, but it didn't change anything, you know, like he would pass away anyway. It didn't change anything. Like, none of the things really change anything. So if you don't get if you respond to a message hour later, what is it really going to change, you know? And we always find like these special cases of what might happen, which is maybe like 2% of the time, 1% of the time, and you discount all the great things that you get if you are with yourself and you actually dedicate the time, like the benefit, you know, that people don't really think about. So that was for me a big takeaway.
Yeah. If I think again, 10 hours of meditation every day, it's just crazy. I mean, I did it, but I don't know how I did it. Like, 10 hours of meditation. Like, even if when I talk to someone about the experience that I had, like 10 hours, they say 10 hours. How you did it? I say, I don't know, but I did it. I mean, when you are in there and your mind is just completely different, and the thing you said about your phone, like, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel like I'm losing something. Like, it's okay. I'm having this time for me. I'm here. I was looking to do it, so I'm here. I'm not losing anything because I'm doing what I want to do. I don't care what's happening out of this place. This is my reality now. I mean, of course, I care about my family. I want them to be okay. But I mean, if something really, really strong happened, they're gonna tell you and say, "Hey, Javi, this happened to you, and you can leave." But I mean, even your mind, I mean, your ideas are in your brain, and you start thinking about that. But it's okay, it's okay. I'm having this time for me, and that's it. Yeah, I didn't miss my phone. When I get back my phone, like in the day 12 or 11, the day after the day 10. So I took my phone and I say, no, I'm not turning it on. I'm going back to my place. When I get home, I'm gonna turn it on, because I was having like some things to solve, and I was like, no, okay, you can. I wait 10 days, so I can wait a couple of hours more. I don't want to. I want to have the taste of the retirement for a bit longer. Like I want to have it with me. So it was pretty cool. Also, I mean, today I use it maybe 5 hours a day. The phone, maybe more. I don't know, but I know I don't need it, because I had the experience living with no phone, and it's possible. I mean, it's a tool, but we don't use it as a tool. We use it like an exit to get out of our reality. Like you want to connect with people who it's really, really far away from you, and you don't connect with the people who's next to you. That's the phone. It's a tool to connect with people, but it's not in reality. And yeah, that was pretty cool. So like experience with no technology for 10 days, no connection with people, like no information from the outside. It's like you don't need it. You can, I mean, you can be happy with no information. You don't need it. I mean, that's crazy also.
Yeah, totally. I agree. Hmm. Okay, what else do you have any other learning that came to mind?
Yeah, meditation was pretty cool. I mean, I felt so different. My the focus, the power that I had in my mind was just crazy. I mean, the sensation. Everything was more intense. Like the intensity of the flavor of the food, the intensity of the touching of my skin, the intensity of the touching of the it was like outside of the meditation hall was like concrete floor. It was a bit rough. No, it was not like how you say, it was not soft and smooth. And I was with no shoes, feeling every small thing of the concrete, like every small stone in the concrete. I was like, wow, I feel like Spider-Man, like this super, like, I don't know, I was like in superpowers, like really. And it was kind of crazy. I can do it if I want now. Like I can like really focus in my hand and try to do something, and I can experience the same sensation. But in there, like you have like your mind is clear, and it's nothing else. It's your hands, your sensation, your body, your mind, your food. It's that is the present. That is you're living in the right moment. You are like you're living in the moment. You're not thinking about future. You're not thinking about past. You're living the moment. Like it's happening. It's reality. Or else it's not reality. It's not what is happening. It's just imagination. It's like just memories or imagination, and you try to stay in your present, in your time, and that's just crazy. Also, like you stay where you are, and you're I don't know. It's powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The being present, that's strong as well. For me, another one that's maybe a little bit different was the compassion. As we talk about, like we were all there going through the same experience, it was hard. Really, like when we talk after the retreat, it was hard, even for the people who were there like second time. It was like maybe the people who were there like 7 or 9 time, like that's different. But even the second times, a lot of the people, they said they even struggle more than the first time. And so it's always a struggle. And that struggle really, like I was thinking a lot about the compassion, about like, and it's part of the whole learning, right? Everything is impermanent. So it means even if you do something that I may perceive as you treating me bad or poorly or somebody else, that doesn't make you a bad person, because you can change. As if you say that your sensation can change, you can change as a person as well, right? So kind of acting with more Compassion is, I think, that's something that stayed with me, that I think about. I thought about it before, I already, because of different experiences, but it kind of like amplified it again. When like I had some issue with a person that I rented my apartment, um, and I was writing them a message, and I was thinking about like this, like saying they didn't do something for like very long time, and I was thinking like I'm going to just tell him like fuck you and blah blah blah, and I had like this anger in me, and I was like, well, that's like not really helping anything, and like I don't know what this guy is going through, and doesn't gonna help me like get my stuff returned. And if it doesn't get returned, who cares? Like it's not that much money or whatever. Like, and it's kind of like recreated like spirit. And I just wrote him like I was very compassionate. I was like, okay, let me help you with this, and let do this and that. And so for me, that compassion was a big part of the Vipassana, which they teaches you at the end, right? Like the last days
Yeah.
of when you kind of try to share the good vibes with the world, basically, of what you get. And that's why people actually go back to the retreats to help, because they want to give back, they want to help. So that for me was big as well.
Yeah. I think it's the same. Like the thing you experience with your sensation, your body, if you can use it in your day to day also. Like when someone do like something like you don't like it, like I don't know, someone, I don't know, didn't don't treat you really well, like you say, okay, it's not him, it's what's happening with me, like with how I'm going to react to this the thing that happened. Like you can control that. You cannot control what's happening outside, but you can control what's happening inside and how you
Mm-hmm.
react. I mean, hate, when you hate someone, it's because you hate. It's not because the other person, they don't care about your hating. I mean, they don't care. I mean, it's something is happening inside yourself, like, and
Yeah.
it's like poison. You become like poison when you hate someone. The other person doesn't care. They doesn't care if you're hating or not. Like they don't care because it's happening to you. It's poison that you bring in inside yourself. Like it's if you love someone, it's something good for you. Like it's your reaction what changes your happiness. Like it's it's not what's happening outside. It's how you taking that. Like how you taking that good thing or bad thing is happening. In your reality. Like that's crazy. Also, like you can observe that. Like okay, like you can like just observe what's going on and say, okay, how I'm going to react to this. I'm going to react. I'm going to accept. I'm going to get mad. What I'm gonna do? And you have like this, like 2 seconds that before you were just going through the reaction and I don't know, fighting with someone or having an argue or giving, I don't know, like today I felt like, okay, I feel like I have these 2 seconds that I say, okay, this happened. Okay, what I'm doing, what I want to do. Is this going to get better? The situation is going to get worse. So I have like these 2 seconds to think about it, and it makes a difference. This stop that you make, it's making a difference in your life. In my life, it's like I don't know. I have more time to think. It's when you yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And even if I had some like strong reactions since we left the retreat. But what also happens is like you kind of are able to resolve it much faster. If you get angry, maybe it would take you a day to get over it. But now maybe it takes you just a few hours to really get back, and like whatever strong feelings, I'm able to, even if they are very very strong, I'm able to shorten the period of this disruption in my life, which is also really great to me. Okay, let's do a final. Is there any final learning that you would like to add?
No, I would like to say that if you feel that you want to do it, you have to do it. I mean, if you think some of these things that we talk about make something that like you feel like you want to do it, you have to do it. I mean, it's kind of I don't care if you are into meditation or not. I think it's some experience that you want to do it. You want to try in your life. I mean, To my friends, to everyone who asked me like how was it, I say it was hard, but it was life changing. I mean, if you want to experience something good and you are ready to experience yourself, you do it. I mean, it's a great opportunity to know yourself, and it's a great opportunity to get into meditation, to get into a new tools in your life. I mean, meditation to me, it's a tool. I know if I get like really, really sad, or I get really, really like in a shit, I can meditate and I gonna feel better. I it's not going to change your life in that moment. I mean, your shit is going to be in there, but you're gonna feel different because you're gonna get perspective. Like,
It, it,
and yeah,
yeah, and you will be able to sit with that feeling, right? Whatever is good or bad, like you will be able to be there because you know that it will pass one day. Um, and then the one thing that you said in the beginning of what you learned from was like, how did you do it? And you just said it. You just did it, like one meditation at a time. You just did it.
yeah,
And I think the final thing that I would add as my final learning was, if you want to see how something works, you also need to give it time. Because if you would left after the 2 day, you wouldn't really have these learnings. You wouldn't see it. You wouldn't get there. And there's always a struggle on the road. And if you just do a diet for a week, you don't see where it goes. If you don't accept that you're going to slack on the diet one day and then you have to get back and it's going to be hard, or anything you want to learn actually or try, you won't really see it. And it took us 100 hours, this journey, which is like doing something a few times a week for a couple like weeks at least, to really see what's the impact on you, on whatever you feel, how your mind is, how you physically feel, or how you can do things. So when you try things, give them a time and accept that it's going to be shit sometimes, that you're not going to feel motivated, and maybe you're going to slack a day or something. Doesn't matter. Just keep working, as they say. And
yeah. And I another thought I had, it was like, okay, so I did 10 hours in 10 days of meditation. And imagine if you do 10 hours a day for 10 days, whatever you want to learn. Like, how powerful is your ability to learn a new skill? Like, this was applying to meditation, but you can do like this kind of retirement to learn whatever you want to learn, and you're ready to learn it. I mean, you just need to have the discipline to stay there and do it. And yeah, and you can. I mean, that's the thing that I also got. Like, I can do it. I mean, if I have the I can do it. I mean, yeah, if I want to, if I really want to, and I do like a compromise to myself, I can do it. I mean, I'm more powerful than I thought. Like, yeah, this is crazy.
exactly, that's exactly how I feel. And to close this talk, let's have the final questions. What are you gonna do in the future? Are you gonna keep meditating? Would you go back to the retreat?
Yeah. I would love to go back to the retreat. You know, people when we were in the last day, they say, I asked them, could you repeat? And most of the people say yes. And after 10 days of no talking, they say yes. After 10 days of having 3 meals a day, they say yes. So yeah, if you ask me, I don't know when, I don't know if I'm ready. I mean, I did it like a month ago, so maybe in a year or maybe in 6 months, but yeah, I'm thinking about doing it again because I know it's good for my life. I mean, it's 10 days and it makes difference. I mean, after 10 days, you feel completely different, and it's not something that the day after you are like back to the normal you. No, it makes a difference, it makes a change in your life. You feel different, and it's not just in the retirement, it's for your life. And yeah, I would do it again. And yeah, if you ask me, yeah, for sure.
Me too. I definitely. I think in a couple of months, a year, they actually recommend to do it. I think every year. Yeah, I definitely worth of the 10 days. Like, people are, A funny thing that I heard, that people are like, how do you find the 10 days? It's difficult in your day-to-day life. You need to take vacation. You need to organize it. There's always a birthday, a wedding, or something important coming up every 10 days. Like, sounds impossible not to have something. And I remember this guy who did I think 9 Vipassana retreats, and he said you know what, the more I do it, the easier it's get to find the time. Because when you know how much it brings to your life, it's just easy decision to say, okay, I'm going to forego the other things because this really makes a difference.
Yeah.
So I think that was the other thing. And we didn't say what happens after the retreat. And basically they say you should meditate twice a day for an hour, which is a lot, And I thought it's incredible lot. I still think it's a lot. But then the guy said something like, yeah, but if you meditate 2 hours a day and if you live the lifestyle, you'll actually have more energy. So you need to sleep less, which we didn't sleep that much on the retreat. And I felt pretty fresh. It depends on the day. Sometimes I was grueling with 10 hours of something new. But overall, I felt pretty good. So that was something hey, maybe you can do something for 2 hours of day if it really has an impact on it. And by the way, I'm meditating 1 hour. I think except for one day since we left, I stick every hour, man. So far, and it's hard.
So 1 hour
still
a day.
Hard.
You're doing 1 hour a day. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing enough in a day, so.
Yeah, whatever. It's everybody's experience. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the tour. But I like it. I still notice, that I do it, and sometimes I have certain day, and then I meditate. It's good. It let you notice things. The observation is good, and it's hard to do it when you have the other things around. All right, Javi. I think our closing remarks for everybody is do it. Try it. If you don't like it, let us know. When we're gonna bake you cake or something.
I mean, it's just 10 days. It's just 10 days, nothing. I mean, in your life, you're going to live 90 years or maybe 80 years. 10 days is nothing. And it's good. It's a good, give it a good try. Give it a good try. And yeah. And Danny is gonna help you to find a place to do it. And that is a really good person. So yeah, stay with Danny. Ask Danny if you have any question. He's like a professor of Vipassana right now.
Or if you want a more Argentine experience, you can reach out to Javi, and we will leave our contacts somewhere in the description of where we're going to publish it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Javi.
No, thank you.